In this chapter, we will cover basic site configuration, which includes the configuration tools that you see at the top of the browser. So Manage, Shortcuts, and then your username, and then all of the options that you see under Manage: Content, Structure, Appearance, Extend, Configuration, People Reports, and Help, which is a very nice one. This chapter will also tell you how to set Drupal to find a file system so that you can upload things like images and documents to your website. In this lesson, we're going to cover site information, which includes things like your site name, slogan, the system email address, and your settings for front page and access denied and page not found pages. To access site information, we're going to go under the Manage tab right here, and then we're going to head over to Configuration. In the system box on the right-hand side, the first option is Site Information. We set some of this information up when we installed Drupal, but now we're going to go ahead and expand this a little bit further. So under Site Details, we have the site name, which is correct. We could change it here if we wanted to. We also have the site email address. So this is the origin email address for any communication that needs to be sent out from the site, such as a password reset or some other notification. We may want to add a slogan, and in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do so. We also have the ability to change the URL to which the front page points. So this means that when somebody comes to your website, they type in your top-level domain, tastykakesforall.com, they're going to get a page. That page will be your home page or front page. And that, just like any other page on your site, actually has its own node or URL. This allows you to set what that points to. We're going to leave this alone because that's a more advanced setting that we're going to cover much later on. But in this particular lesson, we're also going to go over the next option, which is error pages. Those settings include the default 403 page and the default 404 page. The help text here is very useful. It explains what these are. But a default 403 access denied page is the page that the user is going to see if they land on a page for which they don't have permission to view the content. So a 403 error in the web world is an access denied or permissions denied error. The 404 page, the page not found, means that the URL that you went to does not have a destination. There's nothing there at that path. So the page that you access here tells you the content that you were looking for is not where you were searching for it. And it might be very helpful to give the user some kind of tool to look for the content that they're trying to find. You've probably been on a site before where you've accidentally landed on a page that you shouldn't have been visiting. Or perhaps you've tried to find a page that no longer existed. And the site may have given you something fun or cheeky like a Yeti saying, hey, you don't really belong here. Maybe you want to go to that other page. And having that on your site gives the user a sense that the site maintainers care about the users. So if the user is lost, the site maintainers are trying to help them. Or if the user is trying to get into pages where they shouldn't be, the site maintainers are trying to guide them back to where they should be. It's much friendlier than having something that says, access denied, go away, or something like that. So this is a very good tool to use to really help your brand and make your site feel friendly. In order to direct the user to these pages, we need to create the ones that we want here. We're going to go ahead and save the site information configuration here and create an error 403 page, an access denied page, and then come back to this. If I go home now, I'll now see the slogan that I added right under the site title. Okay, so we're going to add a piece of content. We're going to add a basic page that will not go into the menu system that can be used for the error 403 page. And I'll try to make this a fun message. The other thing that I'm going to do on this page is set the URL path settings. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and expand that tab and give it a path that makes sense. In this particular case, this is the page that is intended for the error 403. So I'm going to use 403 as my path. And I'll go ahead and save and publish. I got an error message here saying that the alias is already in use. This is because I went through this process before recording the video, And so I had created this page, and even though I deleted the page, the alias that I just tried to create, which is the URL path, already existed. So I have a couple of options. I can go ahead and clean up the alias, which is more advanced settings, so we'll save that for another lesson. Or I can go back to my URL path settings and set it to something slightly different. So I'm going to set it to error 403. Okay, now I have a page that says, sorry, this isn't for you. And I can use this particular page in the configuration settings for the error 403 page. So we're going to go ahead and go back to site information and set that. Configuration, system, site information. I'm going to scroll down here, and I have the two settings, the 403 page and the 404 page not found. So for the error 403, I'm going to use the page that I just created. For the 404 page not found page, I'm actually going to direct the user to the default out-of-the-box system search in a Drupal site. I happen to know that URL, so I'm going to add it here. It's search/node. This way, if a page is not found, then the user is automatically directed to the search field. And I'll go ahead and save this. Okay, so now we're going to see how this behavior actually works by going to a page that we know doesn't exist. So I'm going to go up to the URL here and change it to something that I know I haven't created, monkey. And it automatically takes me to the search page, which is very helpful. Okay, so how does the 403, the access denied, work? At this time, by default, Drupal out of the box, the search functionality, which you currently see in a little box in the left sidebar, is not available to the unauthenticated user. The general public, basically, does not have permission to use search functionality on this site. So if I go to a browser where I'm not authenticated, I'm going to switch over to Safari, you'll notice that there is no search box in the left sidebar. Since going to a page that doesn't exist automatically now takes the user to search, then what happens next is the user can't access the search page, and so they're going to get the access denied page. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the same URL in Safari, and you'll see that it directs me past the search all the way to the 403 access denied page. So to recap, basic configuration options give you some essential branding on your site and can help your user when they're unable to find content or when they accidentally end up somewhere that they shouldn't be on your site. And it's really good to give that user that help because then they feel like you are taking care of them and they trust your site.